What does it mean to be a musical icon? It's not about sales, the amount of shifted product. It's not about dominating the charts for months at a time. And it's not about being constantly adulated and highly visible in the mainstream. Musical icons have always been able to strike an almost magical balance, entering the wider public consciousness while retaining a cooler, more switched on, more indie bass. Another key characteristic of a musical icon is that they appeal strongly in their messages, attitude, sexuality, style, edginess and themes to cool young people of both genders. This goes both ways. There are many death metal bands with incredibly precise musicianship, passion, aggression, and are able to unleash a barrage of vicious and cathartic noise. But they will never be truly cool because their audience is overwhelmingly young men, whereas cool young women mostly tend to steer clear. The flip side of this idea is that Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, and Beyoncé overwhelmingly appeal only to women and impressionable young girls, and no genuinely hip, cool, relatable, masculine, and admired young man has ever had posters of Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, or Beyoncé up on the wall of his bedroom or dorm room. Taylor Swift albums have never played in the background of the most elusively cool house parties and gatherings of the trendiest circles of young people. No one has transitioned from playing a James Brown or Miles Davis record at some understated, sophisticated scene to putting on the latest Harry Styles single. No group of suave young guys on a road trip have ever leant down their window, lowered their sunglasses, and put on all the single ladies. True musical icons have always attracted the best and the coolest of both genders. Think Bob Dylan, who at his height was the cynosure of hip, almost ethereal in his talent and appeal, or David Bowie, whose glam aesthetic and intensely brilliant melodic music was like a rippling technicolor shockwave through the culture, or Aretha Franklin, whose extraordinary talent and presence and authenticity brought the coolest people together. No gender, age group, or demographic is any better than any other. But if you don't have any underground, indie, or hip cred, and your audience is overwhelmingly one gender, and that gender is overwhelmingly constituted of impressionable teenage girls and college girls, then you're not so much an icon in that you have a universal allure, more an icon in the sense of being just a glorified, very successful pop star. True musical icons have either original songwriting skills, great musicianship, or both. This is where the biggest problem is with Taylor Swift. Many of her fans can't distinguish between two things. On the one hand, she is a great professional, great lyricist, writes about great themes, is able to write with an almost uncanny clarity and emotional honesty about themes to do with being a young woman inherently and also facing society that I, as a man, will never truly comprehend. On the other hand is the actual songwriting, the templates of the songs, how the songs are put together, what chords are used, the chord progressions and the melodies. And these are actually really bland and overused and worn out. I made a video a while back about Taylor Swift using the same stale, obvious, worn-out chord progressions, and didn't think I would have to revisit it, but she went and did it again on this new album Midnights. Put simply, pop songs are made up of chords, and in groups of 4, looped and played around, these are chord progressions. The most stale, basic, overused, and boring is this one. Here it is in the song Midnight Rain. Let's go through Swift's catalog, sometimes playing songs as they are, sometimes pitch shifting them down to show how they fit the template. And again. And again. and again.
This love is good, this love is bad, this love is alive back from the dead. Oh.
And again.
It's alright, just when you see your string of lights is still bright to me. Oh, who you are is who you've been. Still an innocent.
And again. It's the same tired, obvious, overused, done-to-death chord progression over and over. No true musical icon would be this derivative, this lacking in compositional imagination, so guilty of recycling the same template again and again. Also, her musicianship is nothing special. Her guitar strumming and fingerpicking and piano playing are rudimentary, average. Taylor Swift has been ordained as a musical icon by a flakily benign, permissive music media, and by the piles of official accolades. But the reality is, and I'm sorry to have to burst the bubble of a small army of Swifties, those music charts and award shows you esteem as irrefutable evidence of Taylor Swift's cultural status. No one really gives a shit about any of that stuff. They long ago ceased to see the Grammys or Billboard music charts as meaning anything, least of all as a metric of talent. The Grammy Supreme Award winner last year went to a sexless Christian funk pop album no one had ever heard of. The Billboard charts lost all meaning and relevance a decade ago, and are just seen as a shifting repository of thin, vapid, disposable and forgettable pop music for tweens, lame hip-hop and gaudily stylized country music. The MTV Music Awards, all of it. Nobody who appreciates the history and craft of music cares about it or takes any of it seriously. In fact, it's come to symbolize everything that's lame and lacking in music, not its cutting edge. Lizzo has 3 Grammys. If Lizzo has 3 Grammys, then it doesn't really mean much. If you're going to call Taylor Swift an icon, it's not in the sense of true musical icons like Bob Dylan or David Bowie or Aretha Franklin. No older people look at Taylor Swift with jealous admiration and lament that they weren't born later to be part of the exciting times when Taylor Swift was an icon ruling the charts. Most people, on the street, are familiar with Taylor Swift's songs in a general, half-aware kind of way, but most would struggle to actually name 3 of them. She's a tremendously successful pop singer, whose music plays in shopping malls and food courts and at play dates and during driving lessons and in supermarkets. But she's not a timelessly cool icon. She's an artist that teenagers listen to before they develop a real sense of taste in music and explore and understand what indie music and great popular music is. She's what teens listen to before they go to college and become more savvy and shrewd and aware of timelessly cool icons.